unease. And there's two Kenyans, diverse backgrounds, diverse race, stood up to be counted for the people of Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's give a round of applause. They stood up, they became targets, and I tell you it was not easy to get people to volunteer to be petitioners in this case. It's always very difficult, and I think that's something we have to say. I also want to thank, and I'm glad we mentioned this, the volunteers who sat up for a week to get this petition going. Sat up, first few days were very confusing. We were basically talking and trying to figure out how we're feeling, and then work started coming out. People sat down, worked overnight to get it going. And all of you volunteers, some were here, some were not here. I'd like to thank you really very, very much for doing that. And that's something. It took a week for people to put together a 900-page petition plus. The Supreme Court took 2 minutes to read a judgment and then told us it will take 2 weeks to write it. I find that a bit interesting, that they demand us under the Constitution to do something in 1 week, and then they take 2 weeks, and by the way, I read it's going to be on Tuesday, so it's 2 weeks plus. And maybe we should apply Article 159 and say, it's too late, if it's not on Saturday, in this time bar, they shouldn't be allowed to come in. They said that to an affidavit, and now they've taken time themselves on. This is what we don't want in this country. We don't want different rules, different standards for different people. If the law is clear, we have to do it in 7 days, and we do it. Surely, the last hearing was on Friday at 11 a.m. They left. They could have done a 50-page, 60-page judgment to keep us going on Saturday. They asked for 2 weeks, we've given them. And 2 weeks ends tomorrow, not Tuesday, ends tomorrow. And they've taken extra days. Maybe we should also now go to them and say, we don't want this judgment, it's late, it's time barred, we have no time. You have gone against your own time limits. It's incredible that these things are happening. As we look and as we see on. It is an information expression challenge. That's what it is. Let people make their decision seeing the evidence that's there. We cannot overturn the Supreme Court's decision ourselves. That means I have to go back to Supreme Court to overturn it. It's simple, okay? So we've addressed this. If you came in late, I'm sorry, but we have to move. Please, let's go.
One tool of providing information for people to make a democratic decision. But I would request this tool also should be anchored in a grassroots social movement. And I would request, if possible, we get small flyers that speak about this, if possible. But if not possible, I myself, I believe this country needs political justice. And this political justice can only be addressed in people's courts. That's my take.
Thank you very much.
Now, following your presentation, are you suggesting that the Supreme Court, in a way, failed in its core constitutional duty of interpreting the Constitution? Or, in another way, you can put it, was compromised?
What we're saying is that there's evidence that was presented at the court. There was evidence presented at the court. That did not all come out. We are presenting it here in the People's Court website. It shall be presented. Let people decide what happened. And it has been wrong in other countries where the Supreme Court, our highest court of the land before the Supreme Court was Court of Appeal, they were wrong many, many, many times. So many times. In fact, what was interesting in the court was that Ahmed Isaac actually quoted the minority judgment in a petition, an election petition, quoting the dissenting judgment when and dismissing the majority opinion that had been done by Justice Tunoi and Justice Omolo. And he criticized it completely. Justice Tunoi was on the bench, is on the bench, as you know, of the Supreme Court. So courts can be wrong, they have been wrong. That's part of life.
Doing this is also in defense of the Constitution. Now, the Constitution is written on paper. A Constitution does not implement itself. It is implemented by the people. It is implemented by the legislation that is passed in Parliament. And we complained about the watering down of the leadership and integrity provisions, because many of our leaders who were in the last Parliament knew very well that they would never qualify to stand for election if the provisions of the leadership and integrity clauses of the Constitution were meaningfully implemented. We never got an election campaign law. We saw the huge amounts of money that have been spent on these campaigns. And there is no way of controlling or knowing how much that money was, where it came from, and what obligations are attached to it in terms of, as we know, when new governments come in, one of the very first things that's done is contracts are decided on in order to repay those sort of political favors. We saw the IEBC and the Registrar of Political Parties not applying the law and not fulfilling their mandate in terms of regulating the process, for example, of party nominations. So the reason we did this is because the law and the Constitution is the only defense we have against the sort of chaos we saw in 2007. And if we keep on watering down and undermining those laws, those processes, those constitutions, what we saw in 2007, 2008 will be, as Kriegler said, a tea party. I think Kenyans have been responsible. They have kept the peace, but we think this dominance of the peace message has meant that we have traded peace against justice. So we have to be vigilant. And as civil society, we're under no illusions about the sort of atmosphere we're going to face under this regime. We've already seen it in the sort of attacks that we've seen in the blogosphere against civil society. So we say that the Constitution will not implement itself. We must be vigilant and we must protect it.
If anybody says the truth and justice is incitement, then this country has gone backwards very, very far. Never has truth been seen as incitement. There is a truth. There are narratives out there. Yes, the Supreme Court dismissed the petition, but as we say, Supreme Courts have been wrong. They can be wrong. Is that not right? Don't you agree? Can they be wrong? If they can be wrong, why are people afraid of seeing the truth? Why are they scared of seeing this thing going forward? So what we're doing is providing evidence. We're also saying that people did not see the entire evidence because they couldn't see it. It was presented as a bundle to the judges, 900 pages worth. There's also evidence we'll be bringing. We have asked Mr. Oraro to provide us that evidence that was rejected by the court. And we'll put it up there too, because I think it's important that people see what happened. It is important. We can only move forward, we can only improve if we know exactly what happened and why. Burying our heads in the sand and saying that talking truth is inciting others means we're in problems. We're in bigger problems than we think. And we will very soon be like North Korea before we know it. Kila mtu ajione aseme kama hili kuwa kweli ama si kweli. Kila mtu aamue mwenyewe. Hivyo tu, sio mambo mengine. Koti iliamua. Wananchi wengine wako na maoni yao. Wacha watu wote waone. Haya, next. For individuals sending information, we accept, we will have to know who you are, but we are happy to people to be anonymous when it's posted up there. That's fine. But we are happy to get the information. We will verify before we put it up there because it's important for us to do so. Because again, it's very easy to put false information, then it can mess up the whole website. So we'll be careful about that. We'll be moderating the website, so it's going to happen.
Can I just say that let's stop self-censoring. We've got a Bill of Rights, we've got a Constitution, and we have a country which guarantees freedom of association and speech. And I think all of us should actually speak up and speak our mind and actually say the truth. Because I think the moment we self-censor, then we let impunity get in the way. And as far as we are concerned, we have a new constitution, we have a new government that has promised to uphold the rule of law. And I think if anything else goes amiss, then it's upon the government to get involved and to prosecute those people. Obviously, the idea of creating hate speech against people who basically speak the truth is something that we condemn unequivocally. And I think as Kenyans, we have a right to speak up and speak up for the truth and speak up for justice as far as people are concerned.
I just wanted to know, James is my very good friend. I wanted to know from the website you bought a local domain, which we have seen CCK through Kenny abuse in many instances. This is the first time. I bet you in the next, if you release anything which the public has not seen, I bet you the website will go down very soon. I don't know if you have chances of mirroring the website to other, the general TRPs. I don't know if Jerry is thinking of that.
Thank you for that.
We had a problem. I personally had a problem with Maina Kiai because I was being accused that I'm supporting Uhuru Kenyatta. Maina actually himself saying it. I want to say this for this reason. Because this is my, and you know very well, Maina, this is my platform and I belong to this platform, isn't it? People's platform. Ojeo belong to people's what? Platform. So this is my platform. But what we need to create a room whereby people speak what is in their heart. If the ruling went actually the other way around, I don't think that we would be creating such platform. We are creating this platform because the ruling was not on our favor. So that's what I'm simply saying, despite the fact that you want people to speak the truth. And that's why I'm saying, some people ask questions, you tell them, that's the problem of you coming in late. Coming late is not the issue here. Actually, getting the right answer is the issue. Thank you.
In one particular view, it's about having a robust debate. A robust and vibrant public debate is what is going to strengthen our democracy. And that robust and vibrant public debate will be based on, hopefully, on the objective evidence. So it's not about whether the Supreme Court is right or wrong, and we respect the institution of the Supreme Court. This is about having public debate, having public analysis, and educating and raising the level of public knowledge about how we should live together as a country.
Okay, I am.
And even an article of opinion pieces published in the paper, for example, an op-ed piece by a certain James Kimalel, who we then found out didn't exist as such. So these are attacks on, attacking the messenger rather than the message. And indeed, it was quite insidious in the sense that it went to our website. And got information which is publicly available. We do not hide information about who funds us. We do not hide information about how we spend those funds. It is all on our website. Go there. You've got our audited reports. You've got, who funds us, how much, what it's spent on. So that's all there. We have the information on our website about who is on our board. Even in court, the lawyers for the respondents were claiming to have done very deep research in order to find out that Katiba Institute had published opinions around public issues, and on that basis Katiba Institute was excluded as an amicus curiae. It is our job to do advocacy, to have opinions and publish them, and to try to persuade the public about opinions on public processes, institutions, etc. And that's what we're doing today. And we know the people behind those attacks. We expect that sort of thing. Never mind. go to the internet and I think they're not interesting as individuals. Actually, I think they must lead a rather sad life if they spend their life, impugning individuals' motivations and defaming them, etc. That's not a way I would like to live my life. So I really don't care who they are. They're insignificant. No, let them name themselves. We didn't attack ourselves. So that's what you're referring to. And I think in the fullness of time, such attacks, people have to look at who are they talking about, what's their public record, etc. And as I say, the information was available on our website, and indeed I want to thank those individuals for driving so much traffic to our website that it crashed, and that we indeed had to buy more bandwidth to accommodate the number of visitors. We're very grateful to them for that.